In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to set up a crisp fall effect stack. So we're not going to start from scratch though. We're going to start with our hazy summer effect stack and we're going to tweak it. So we're going to add some seasonal objects to the fall layer, like some leaves on the street and the gutter, and also some leaves under the tree. And then we're going to tweak the effects that we've already set up. So maybe back off the temperature, move it to cooler, tweak the real sky. And then we are also going to add in the autumn effect, or the autumn colors effect, so that we can take all our trees and switch them over to be those nice fall hues. So let's jump to it. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do to get set up in Lumion is we're going to pick a new camera. But the view that I want to use over and over again is going to be this number 2 camera. All right, so I've clicked on that number 2 camera. I'll click on camera number 4 and then store a new shot. So you can see that what happened here is that this is a new camera with no effects, but it does in fact match this camera over here for O2 Summer. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is I'll just go back to camera number 4, and I think I'll just go ahead and let's go to this O2 Summer, and I'm going to copy these effects. So I'll click the menu and choose Edit, and then copy the effects. I'll go back over here to camera number 4, click on it, and then we'll go to our menu, click Edit, and then choose Paste Effects. So we can throw those effects right back on top. Now, this brings it to a duplicate scene or a duplicate camera as number 2, and we are going to now kind of unravel a few of these to get back to a nice, crisp fall day. All right. So where do we start? I'd say the first thing that we could do is maybe choose a new real sky. That's kind of always the first place to start, is kind of set the mood with your real sky and your skylight lighting. So I'll go to real skies, and for this particular scene, I'm going to go to, click on that thumbnail, and let's choose a cloudy sky. I want it to be not like, the summer day was nice and clear. This is going to be a fall day with like a lot of activity in the sky. So let's try that one. All right. And, to really kind of scoot things around, our heading is probably okay here. We could kind of tweak that around a little bit, maybe get some longer shadows. I don't know. That's probably fine. Let's then go back to our effect stack and go to page 1. And I think right away I could go to our color correction and back off the temperature and maybe make it a little bit cooler. All right. And then I'm going to come back to contrast and saturation later. Let's really get a jump start on the fall. And to do that, we need to get our trees kind of whipped into shape. All right. So what I'm going to do then is hop over to our effects again. So we'll go back to our effects stack and take a look at our layer visibility. So layer visibility, I don't want to be messing with my summer trees, so I'll turn those off. All right. And then what I do want to mess with is my fall trees. Okay. You can see that we've lost our fall, our people as well. So we're going to need to add back some seasonal objects. So we'll get there. All right. So we've got our fall trees turned on. That's layer number 6. All right. Now it's important to take note of what layer number your fall trees are on, or the trees that you want to modify with that autumn colors effect, because we're going to need to use the slider. So for us, it's going to be layer number 6. All right. So I'll go back to my effects, and I'm going to go to our weather and climate, and we've got our autumn colors effect. I'm going to add that. Now on autumn colors, we're going to choose the layer. You can mess with these sliders all you want, but if you don't pick the layer, it doesn't really do anything. And let's see, I already forget what layer it was. I think it was 5. Let's see, layer visibility number 6. My mistake. All right, so layer number 6. Let's go. Autumn colors, layer number 6. We're there. Okay, so we've got layer number 6 visible in the layer visibility effect, and then in autumn colors we've chosen layer number 6 because that's the layer that we want to affect. Okay, so now we can choose, let's see, these sliders always kind of mess with me a little bit, but right from the default settings, I can just move the hue, and you can get to something kind of weird, or you can just kind of get it to that fall tone. Now, what I found is I think the range is like how much, like how extreme it gets. So I don't know, maybe where it was is fine. And the variation is like how much it dances around that, so now you're getting like all kinds of weird colors. So I don't know that I want a lot of hue variation. Maybe a little bit is cool. And then saturation wise, I mean, that's kind of cool when it's really saturated, but yeah, let's go with it. A little bit of saturation seems to get us there. So we've got kind of an orange, we've got some yellows, we're getting some nice fall colors. This, in my opinion, this particular effect is a little bit finicky. Don't hesitate to just delete it and then try again and like bring it back in with the default settings. It took me a bit to get the process down, but it seems, what was it? Turn up the hue and get it, and that's kind of the easy one. And then maybe find the range that you want, and then tweak your hue variation, and then saturation is just a preference there. But to get the leaves to change, just mess with the hue first. All right, that looks cool. I like the way that looks. We're good. So we're gonna hop back into build mode. All right, so now in build mode, I wanna add some fall people and some fall leaves in here, all right? So I need to go over here and let's go to summer and turn it off. And I'm gonna turn off our spring and our winter. Okay, so the only layer is fall, and fall is active. So we're in good shape there. All right, so now what I can do, I can go to place, and then I can go to, we can go to our people, 2D, and then I might just find some people that are dressed more appropriately for fall. So she looks like she's got kind of a coat on, and let's see, she has like a scarf happening there, that could work. And let's see, we'll keep going, find some fall people. She looks more in the winter realm, and winter, and yeah, maybe she's got some fall clothes on, guy in a suit, that could work too. All right. So we'll do that. And maybe one more. Let's see, who else do we have? She's crossing the road. And yeah, it looks like a warm fall day, but I don't know. I guess I'd pick people that are dressed kind of obviously. That's fine. We'll put him back here on this road. Okay, so there's our people. So we're all taken care of there. And now you can see if I go back into photo mode and take a look here, my fall layer is turned on. I don't know that I placed these people as well as I could have, so maybe I'll put her back. But either way, we've got some people in there. And so you can see that the summer layer is turned off. And when I go over to summer, you can see that my fall people are turned off. All right, so let's hop back into build mode and then maybe tweak some of these choices that we made here. So like I would say that maybe this person can go over there, and she can go there, maybe she can go over here. So you just kind of scoop people around, but they're already on the correct layer, so we're in good shape. Let's add some leaves. All right, now these leaves are pretty cool. These are under your place mode, and then go into the nature collection in the object library, and then the last one is leaves, or leaf. All right, and there's a bunch of them. There's page 1 and 2. All right, and it seems to me that like these maple leaves, these kind of make a good look. But let's kind of zoom in, and I got to tell you what happens is if you just place them like this, they don't tend to show up real well. So I'm going to hold H and adjust the height, and I just want it to be a little bit above the grass, because otherwise it just kind of doesn't show up. All right, they get a little bit too buried in the grass. All right, so there's one tree with a heck of a lot of leaves. Let's see, that's a small pile. That's a large circle. Let's see, yeah, they're all kind of the same. So we'll just go with, we'll keep rolling with what we had there. So this one looks fine. Maybe we will do the small leaves over here. So then I'll zoom in like right here. All right, so same deal. You can see that it is If I hold Shift and H, I think it'll kind of go slow. Shift doesn't. No, Shift does a little bit of help there. So we can kind of get it so that they're actually sitting up. You know, otherwise they really get lost in the 3D grass. All right, so then we can drop one here, and I'll just kind of go with it, and like there, and there. Okay, so we got our leaves. Now the leaves under the tree, that's one thing, but we need some leaves kind of in the road, okay? So there's like these big edges of leaves, and those are pretty cool. But look around, you know, you've got like these kind of smaller leaves. I can hold R, and I can rotate this whole thing of leaves. And, you know, maybe I'll like put some leaves here. And then I'm going to go to hit the M key and then hold Alt and then make a copy of these guys like that. You know, so this way, you know, we're getting kind of a nice shot. Again, you always want to go back and check your photo, you know, see what you're working on. Like, for instance, did I even get leaves in here? You know, see, they're just off to the side. So I don't really need to be super concerned about over here. It's more in this main drive. So always, you know, double check your view. Make sure that you're working where you want to, or working where you're going to see what you're doing, right? All right, so I'll hold Alt and make another copy, and that could be pretty cool. You know, just drop them like that. And you know, I'm just going to delete one of these, and we'll like throw some other leaves in here. All right, so we've got like these edges of leaves. Sorry, if I grab like a whole line here, and so now with the edges, I can hold R and I can rotate this around like that, and then I can place this. And then I always find it's easier just to hit the M key. If you hold Shift, it'll kind of constrain where it's at. And if I hold Shift and Alt, I can make a copy of this and kind of copy it along that plane. All right, so that looks pretty good. And then I'll hold Shift and Alt again, and then I'll hold R, and I can rotate around like that. When I'm rotating, it kind of snaps to the geometry of my model, which is kind of nice. Hit M, and then kind of add another piece in here like that, and then hold Alt and Shift, make a copy, hold R like this, rotate this thing around, kind of snaps again to that. Oops, let me undo that rotation. Hit the M key and move that one back into place, and then maybe I'll make another copy of that. Let's see where that gets us. All right, we'll go back to photo mode, and yeah, so now we've got some nice leaves, and I gotta tell you, this gutter right in front here, what a missed opportunity. Let's throw some leaves in that gutter. That's gonna look perfect. That's the look I'm going for. All right, so one more. All right, so let's just pull, I'll hold Alt, and make a copy of this guy over here. Hold R, and then rotate this around like that. And then I'm gonna hit the M key, hold Shift, and then move that into place, and maybe hold R one more time and get that kind of lined up with that curb. All right, let's see what that does. I think that's gonna be sweet. All right, missed it though. Let's just scoot it down, and then we are in business. Let's just hold M, hold Shift, scoot that a bit, and then hold R, and then get that rotation just right. Like, let's see, it's kind of on a curve, so we'll do this. Perfect. All right. Where does that get us? So now we've got our leaves in the gutter. We've got some leaves under the trees. We got all the fall colors happening. I think that's pretty cool. All right. Let's see. All right. So now as far as real skies go, I don't know if that's exactly the real sky one. So we're going to craft this image. All right. Well, let's go back to real sky. And we did cloudy. Let's see. So this is what we're doing. I just kind of envision, more cloud. Yeah, maybe this is more of the idea I'm going for. It feels a little bit more of like evening, but I don't know. We're on the fly here. You know, we're making decisions. So that's kind of that's more of what I had in mind, I think, with this image. It's definitely warm. So let's go back to our color correction and see what we've got there. So again, I can go to page 1, go to color correction. Our temperature, that's definitely not, don't want to make it any more warm. I think we're good there. It's cooled off. The saturation, we could kind of kill a little bit of that saturation, bring a little bit of that contrast up. Just depends on what you want to go for there. But yeah, maybe a little less contrast. And then this is a good example of where I might go in and use exposure. But let's go to one other effect that I want to mess with, and that's going to be our camera effect of lens flare. And so I want to dial back that master brightness and the bloom amount. We're really not going for like a haze on this one. All right, but it's getting pretty dark though. So we'll goof with it, see if this is what we want to go with. But this is where I'd throw exposure on top and then just brighten up the image. Like exposure is kind of like that last, you've got everything in place and you're like, it just needs to be brighter. So I just throw exposure on it and get that kind of doing what it needs to do. So I think that's going to be pretty close. The one other thing I want to do, this is a really cool trick, all right? So we got like kind of these looming darker, clouds. It's a crisp fall day. We've got the leaves on the ground, and certainly we could throw some more leaves in the grass as well. That would be a cool effect. But we want to make it look like it just rained, okay? I don't want it to be raining. I just want it to look like it just rained. All right, so check this out. This is where we get back to that like wet asphalt. You don't need that anymore. We can just add the precipitation effect. All right, so we add that precipitation effect, and instead of having these particles, we don't want any particle quantity, and I just knock down the particle size. And so check that out. It's like everything is rained on, except it's not raining, which is super cool, I think. So now we're not getting just the wet asphalt. We're getting a wet sidewalk, and I don't even know what else, but it's like everything is wet, which is super cool. Now I can mess with the phase, so you could make it like kind of like a puddly, cool fall day, like it's about to be Halloween. I think it's super, super convincing with this new precipitation effect, and it's so easy. Cool. All right, so I like the look. We've got our hazy summer day, and now we've got like that crisp fall afternoon, back to school, looking good. Let's render this thing out and take a look at it. I'll click on the render, and we're not going to do the whole set. We're just going to render the current shot, and I will render this one at 3840 by 2160. We'll kick this one out. We'll just call this one fall for now. All right, let's render it out, see what we get. All right, so then I'm gonna open up the folder and take a look at the image that we just created, and definitely a nice crisp fall day. A couple comments on this. Maybe I would go in there and lower my leaves just a touch. I might have exaggerated that, but I do know that if you just click and put them in the grass, they just kind of don't show through. The other thing too is these leaves might be floating just a touch. So yeah, maybe I just scoot those down a little. And overall though, the image, it's got a pretty nice sky, and the sun is hitting the building, and yeah, I'm pretty psyched. So I think we're in good shape. Just a few tweaks and we'd be set. So you can see that with the right amount of adjustments and tweaking, we can take that hazy summer day and turn it into that crisp fall afternoon. So keep in mind, we're really focusing on keeping our objects on the correct layer, and then working with that layer visibility effect to get those seasonal renderings. That's probably the most critical piece of this, is to keep those layers straight and keep that layer visibility effect right on point. So up next, we're gonna create, we'll probably start with the hazy summer again, and we're gonna evolve that one into a dreary winter evening. Stick with me, I'll see you in the next tutorial.